Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next hour, Prime Minister Narendra Modi concludes historic visit to Israel as ties elevate to special strategic partnership. 27 outcomes signed to boost cooperation in AI, quantum and critical minerals. Canadian PM Mark Carney to visit India from February 27 to 2nd of March at the invitation of Prime Minister Modi. Focus on strategic partnership review and talks on trade, investment, energy and innovation. Third round of US-Iran talks end with no deal but significant progress. Iranian Foreign Minister says further technical talks in less than a week in Vienna. Pakistan's Defence Minister declares open war on Taliban government. Pakistan bombs Kabul after Afghanistan's late-night border attacks. India thrashed Zimbabwe by 72 runs in a must-win Super 8 encounter, keeps semis' hopes alive. India and Israel elevated their long-standing ties to a special strategic partnership anchored in deep trust, shared democratic values and human sensitivities. This comes as Prime Minister Narendra Modi concluded his two-day visit to Israel, marking a significant step forward in bilateral relations with 27 outcomes. Many focused on frontier technologies such as artificial intelligence. Here's more in the report.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi concluded his two-day visit to Israel, marking a significant step forward in bilateral relations. On the second day of the visit, Prime Minister Modi held delegation-level talks with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Both leaders discussed the entire range of bilateral relationship, along with regional and global interest. Following the talks, India and Israel signed 27 outcomes, strengthening ties across multiple sectors. The partnership span emerging and strategic domains, including artificial intelligence, quantum technologies, and critical minerals, signaling a major push towards future-ready collaboration.
टेक्नोलॉजी हमारी भावी साझेदारी का केंद्र है। आज हमने क्रिटिकल एंड इमर्जिंग टेक्नोलॉजी पार्टनरशिप स्थापित करने का निर्णय लिया है। इससे एआई, क्वांटम और क्रिटिकल मिनरल्स जैसे क्षेत्रों में सहयोग को नई गति मिलेगी।
Addressing global concerns, Prime Minister Modi reiterated India's support for the Gaza peace plan, describing it as a pathway towards lasting stability. He emphasized India's commitment to dialogue and cooperation with all stakeholders to promote peace in the region.
भारत की सोच स्पष्ट है। Humanity must never become a victim of conflict. गाजा पीस प्लान से शांति का एक रास्ता बना है। भारत ने इन प्रयासों का पूर्ण समर्थन किया है। भविष्य में भी हम सभी देशों के साथ संवाद और सहयोग जारी रखेंगे।
Prime Minister Modi also highlighted progress on the India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor and the I-2U2 grouping to enhance regional connectivity. Reaffirming a shared resolve, India and Israel declared a united stand against terrorism, pledging continued joint efforts to combat terror and its supporters.
भारत और इजराइल पूरी तरह से स्पष्ट है कि आतंकवाद का दुनिया में कोई स्थान नहीं है। किसी भी रूप में, किसी भी अभिव्यक्ति में आतंकवाद को स्वीकार नहीं किया जा सकता। हम कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर आतंकवाद और उनके समर्थकों का विरोध करते रहे हैं, और आगे भी करते रहेंगे।
Before concluding his visit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with prominent members of the Indian Jewish community in Jerusalem, reinforcing strong people-to-people ties. Earlier, Prime Minister Modi held talks with Israeli President Isaac Herzog at the presidential residence. They discussed diverse aspects of the India-Israel friendship. Both leaders explored avenues to further enhance cooperation in education, startups, innovation, tech, and connectivity. The two leaders also planted a tree under Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam initiative. During the visit, Prime Minister Modi also paid tribute at Yad Vashem, the World Holocaust Remembrance Center. Accompanied by Prime Minister Netanyahu, he visited the Book of Names Hall and participated in a memorial ceremony, laying a wreath in honor of Holocaust victims.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Israel visit was a historic one. From the memorable speech in the Knesset to the elevation of ties to special strategic partnership, the visit capitalizes, builds upon the enduring bonds of trust and friendship and provides a roadmap for an innovation-led future. With camera person Jaishankar, Shubhendu Ghosh for DD India in Jerusalem.
In Israel, actor Leo Raz, co-creator and star of the hit series Fauda, met Prime Minister Modi. His show Fauda was showcased at the Goa Film Festival in November last year. Raz said he would love to come back to India again.
It was amazing, and it was a huge honor to meet the Prime Minister of India, such a huge country. And we know that we have a lot of audience in India for our shows. And to get this honor from your Prime Minister, for us it was, it's great, and great to see how we support acting and producing and art in your country. I think this is something that we should learn how to do it in our country as well. And we would love to collaborate again. My show Fauda was Netflix premiered Fauda 4th season in Goa Film Festival. We would love to come back and to do it again.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will virtually address the post-budget webinar on technology, reforms and finance for Viksit Bharat today. The webinar will entail discussions on public capex, infrastructure, banking sector reforms, financial sector architecture, deepening capital markets and ease of living through tax reforms. The webinar is the first in a series of post-budget webinars being organized on key themes emerging from the Union Budget 2026-27. These webinars aim to draw lessons from past experiences and obtain structured feedback from participants to strengthen and ensure outcome-oriented implementation of the budget announcements for financial year 2026-27, drawing upon the practical experience and insights of diverse stakeholders. Canadian Prime Minister Carney will begin his 4-day visit to India from Friday at the invitation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This will be his first trip to India as the Prime Minister. On Friday and Saturday, he will be in India's financial capital Mumbai, where he will participate in separate business engagements, interact with Indian and Canadian CEOs, industry and financial experts, innovators, educators, as well as Canadian pension funds based in India. On Sunday and Monday, Prime Minister Carney will be in New Delhi, where the two Prime Ministers will hold delegation-level talks at Hyderabad House. Both leaders will review the progress achieved till date across diverse areas of the India-Canada strategic partnership, building on their earlier meetings in Kananaskis in June 2025 and Johannesburg in November 2025. They will also take stock of ongoing cooperation in key pillars including trade and investment, energy, critical minerals, agriculture, education, research and innovation, and people-to-people ties. The two leaders will also exchange views on regional and global developments. Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Carney will also attend the India-Canada CEOs Forum. The visit is an opportunity to reaffirm the positive momentum and shared vision of India and Canada in building a forward-looking partnership. The fourth meeting of the Joint Defence Cooperation Committee between India and Kenya concluded on Thursday in Nairobi with focus on promoting collaboration in defence research and development and production. The discussions also focused on expanding service engagements, enhancing training opportunities and strengthening maritime security cooperation. During the meeting, both sides agreed to broaden the scope of service-to-service engagements, including initiating structured interactions between their respective navies. Both countries deliberated on cooperation in customized training programs, instituting military exercises, border management, capacity building in advanced domains such as electronic warfare, cyber security, cooperation in military medical services, including training and knowledge exchange. The Indian Navy is set to strengthen its coastal defence by commissioning INS Anjadeep at the Chennai port on Friday. Anjadeep, the third of the 8 vessels being built under the Anti-Submarine Warfare Shallow Water Craft project, was delivered to the Indian Navy on 22nd of December 2025 at Chennai. These ships, approx 77-meter length, are the largest Indian naval warships propelled by water jets. These ships are equipped with state-of-the-art lightweight torpedoes, indigenously designed anti-submarine rockets and shallow water sonar, enabling effective detection and engagement of underwater threats. The ship will strengthen Navy's anti-submarine, coastal surveillance and mine-laying capabilities. All right, let's now go live across to Jaisalmer in Rajasthan, where President Draupadi Murmu is taking a sortie in indigenous Light Combat Helicopter ahead of exercise Vayu Shakti 2026. These are the live visuals that we are getting for you from Jaisalmer in Rajasthan, where Honorable President of India, Draupadi Murmu, is taking sortie in indigenous Light Combat Helicopter ahead of exercise Vayu Shakti 2026. This indeed is an incredible moment and a proud moment for the entire country. For all those viewers who've just tuned in to D-Day India, these are the live visuals that we are showing you. These are the visuals from Jaisalmer, Rajasthan, where Honorable President of India, Draupadi Murmu, is taking a sortie in indigenous Light Combat Helicopter ahead of exercise Vayu Shakti 2026. Indeed, an incredible and a proud moment for everyone. This is the indigenous Light Combat Helicopter Prachand. And this is coming at a time when the entire world is looking at India for different collaborations, for different deals. And India is now not just an importer, but also the exporter when it comes to the defense weapons. On your screens are the live visuals from Jaisalmer in Rajasthan, where Honorable President of India, Draupadi Murmu, is taking a sortie in indigenous Light Combat Helicopter Prachand ahead of exercise Vayu Shakti 2026. The event Vayu Shakti 2026 is Indian Air Force's largest firepower demonstration. And this exercise is also expected to involve around 12,000 kilograms of ammunition and as many as 77 fighter aircraft, and 43 helicopters have also been assigned for firing and operational roles. It will showcase Indian Air Force's capability to respond effectively on multiple fronts simultaneously. And our correspondent Akshay Dongre joins us on the phone line. Hi Akshay, a very good morning to you. These are the visuals that we are showing to our viewers, where Honorable President of India Draupadi Murmu is taking a sortie, and that too, Akshay, in indigenous light combat helicopter ahead of exercise Vayu Shakti 2026. Indeed, a proud moment for the entire country.
Well, absolutely, and in fact, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces taking a sortie ahead of such a major exercise on the western borders of our country in a light combat helicopter. That is the first combat helicopter that has been indigenously developed by our country is in fact a moment of pride, not just for the armed forces, but it also instills a sense of confidence as far as the President herself has in India's defense manufacturing capability. That instills the confidence in our armed forces that if the President can take sortie, then the sort of equipment that we are not only displaying but also manufacturing now, improvising, are second to none, and they are indeed safe platforms, highly capable, and can be converted in future into much more lethal combat platforms. So definitely it's a thing of pride. A full spectrum operation later will be displayed by fighter, transport and helicopter platforms, including Rafale, Jaguar, Mirage 2000, Sukhoi 30 MKI, MiG-29, Hawk, C-130J, C-295, C-17, and all of these platforms are fighter jets and transport aircraft. But besides that, the helicopters will also be included in this mega aerial show that will include the indigenous light combat helicopters, the Chinooks and Apaches that we have gotten from the U.S., Mi-17, Cheetal, and all of these platforms, that are equipped and used by our Air Force.
All right, Akshay, we leave it there. Thank you so much. And still to come on DD India News Hour. U.S.-Ukraine discuss post-war reconstruction in Geneva. Zelensky says next round of talks likely in Abu Dhabi in March. Hillary Clinton says she wants to see truth come out after finishing Epstein testimony. And Nepal gears up for March 5 elections amid growing demand for transparency, accountability. You're watching DD India News Hour. I am Siddharth Bharadwaj. The Iranian and US delegations wrapped up their new round of nuclear talks in Geneva, Switzerland after significant progress in the negotiation. The meeting marked the third round of indirect nuclear talks between Iran and the United States under the mediation of Oman, which began on Thursday morning. Iran's delegation was headed by Iranian Foreign Minister Sayyed Abbas Araghchi, while US Presidential Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and President Donald Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner represented the US in the negotiations. Omani Foreign Minister, who acted as the mediator, said the two sides planned to resume negotiations soon after consultations in their capitals, and technical level discussions would take place next week in Vienna. Araghchi said after the talks that it was one of our most serious and longest rounds of negotiations with good progress. He also said the two sides agreed to begin technical reviews in Vienna next Monday.
We made good progress and very seriously entered into the elements of a possible agreement, both in the nuclear field and in the area of sanctions. On some issues, we have now become very close to an understanding. On certain other issues, we still have differences of opinion. The technical teams will begin technical talks in Vienna on Monday at the International Atomic Energy Agency, and with the assistance of the agency's experts, we will try to bring some of the technical issues into a framework so that it can later be aligned with the political demands of both sides.
Moving on to another set of peace talks where Ukraine and US also concluded their talks and preparations are underway for the next round of negotiations. Ukraine's chief negotiator Rustem Umerov said the objective is to make the next trilateral meeting involving the United States and Russia as substantive as possible. Umerov said particular attention during the latest meetings was devoted to Ukraine's economic track and long-term support mechanisms. Separately, Russia's presidential special envoy Kirill Dmitriev also held talks with US representatives in Geneva, though he declined to comment on the results of negotiations with the US. After the bilateral talks, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said trilateral talks are likely to take place in Abu Dhabi in early March. The talks would aim to prepare the way for a meeting of Ukraine and Russia's leaders.
There is more readiness for the next trilateral meeting. Most likely, the next meeting will be in the Emirates, in Abu Dhabi. We expect the gathering to happen at the beginning of March to finalize everything that was agreed for real security guarantees. To prepare a meeting at the level of country leaders, this particular format could advance many things.
The International Monetary Fund has approved $8.1 billion four-year loan for Ukraine, of which $1.5 billion would be disbursed immediately. The IMF said the new loan will help Kyiv to maintain economic stability and keep public spending flowing. Ukrainian Prime Minister Yulia Sviridenko hailed the loan as part of a broader financial framework that would cover an estimated budget shortfall of $136.5 billion over 4 years. While IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva said the IMF loan would resolve Ukraine's balance of payments problem and restore medium-term external viability. She said it will also boost prospects for reconstruction and growth after the conflict ends. It would also help to facilitate Ukraine's steps to join the European Union. Moving on to investigations into Epstein files, former US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton told a congressional committee that she did not remember ever meeting the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Clinton said that she had no information to share about his criminal activities. She delivered a closed-door deposition to the House of Representatives Oversight Committee in Chappaqua, New York on Thursday. Clinton characterized her knowledge of Epstein's associate Ghislaine Maxwell as casual, describing her as an acquaintance. She and her husband, Democratic former President Bill Clinton, initially refused to testify before the committee, but relented when lawmakers moved to hold them in contempt of Congress. Hillary Clinton also expressed confidence that her husband, former US President Bill Clinton, knew nothing of Epstein's crimes when they were still in contact. Bill Clinton is scheduled to testify to the committee on Friday.
I answered every one of their questions as fully as I could, based on what I knew. I never met Jeffrey Epstein, never had any connection or communication with him. I knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually as an acquaintance. I think the chronology of the connection that he had with Epstein ended several years before anything about Epstein's criminal activities came to light.
Britain's government has reached an agreement with police on releasing documents linked to the 2024 appointment of former U.S. Ambassador Peter Mandelson, a parliamentary committee said. Mandelson was arrested by London's Metropolitan Police on suspicions of misconduct in public office over his ties to Jeffrey Epstein, then released. The controversy has intensified pressure on Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who dismissed Mandelson in September after details of the relationship emerged. The Intelligence and Security Committee said it would independently decide which vetting documents are published, with an initial batch expected in March. Separately, the EU's anti-fraud office is reviewing Mandelson's past role as trade commissioner in Brussels, but has not opened a formal probe. Emails released by the U.S. Justice Department suggested closer ties with Epstein than previously known. His lawyers reject allegations, calling them unfounded. Tensions between Pakistan and Afghanistan have escalated sharply following cross-border airstrikes and military exchanges along the Doordarshan line. Pakistan bombed major cities in Afghanistan, including the capital Kabul, on Friday, with Islamabad's defense minister declaring the neighbors at open war following months of tit-for-tat clashes. The declaration came hours after Afghan forces attacked Pakistani border troops in what the Taliban government said was retaliation for earlier deadly airstrikes. The Afghan Ministry of Defense said 8 Afghan soldiers were killed in the border clash and several civilians were injured near the Torkham crossing at a camp for returnees from Pakistan. The Taliban government confirmed the Pakistani airstrikes, though their spokesman Zabihullah Mujahid denied any casualties. Zabihullah said that Afghan forces would carry out major offensive operations along the border in response to repeated violations by the Pakistani military. In Nepal, preparations are underway for the upcoming House of Representatives election, with polling stations situated in the border region under strict surveillance. To ensure a peaceful election process, security agencies are monitoring polling stations and have categorized polling stations for the March 5 election into 3 security levels as normal, sensitive and highly sensitive. Security personnel have been deployed in larger numbers at vulnerable polling centers, while border surveillance has also been tightened along the 367-kilometer open frontier with India. Meanwhile, home to 1.72 million, the elections in Nepal are being seen as a crucial test for the country's young democracy. Last year, Kathmandu witnessed massive Gen Z-led protests sparked by a social media ban, which eventually led to the ousting of Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli's government. The protests, marked by widespread unrest and violence, highlighted the growing demand for transparency, accountability and reform in Nepal's political landscape. A young California woman testified on Thursday in the case in which she has sued Meta platforms Instagram and Google's YouTube. The landmark trial alleges childhood social media addiction, leaving her anxious, depressed and insecure of her own looks, yet unable to give up her cell phone without feeling further angst. The plaintiff in the case said her obsessive use of YouTube starting at age 6 and Instagram at age 9 also disrupted her school performance, robbed her of sleep, stunted her in-person social life and strained family relations. The case is part of a broader global backlash against social media companies over alleged harms to children and teens. Australia has banned under 16s from such platforms, and other countries are considering similar restrictions. Google and Meta have denied the allegations and said evidence in the case does not support the woman's claims. And still to come on DD India News Hour. Kerala's Tanya Nathan C creates history, becomes India's first visually impaired woman judge. AI promises solutions while bringing new environmental challenges, making responsible and sustainable AI more essential than ever. We'll show you. And a traditional beef festival was celebrated in Ladakh.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Johar. Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
You're watching DD in a News Hour. I am Siddharth Bharadwaj. In a milestone achievement for inclusivity in India's judiciary, Kerala is set to welcome its first visually impaired woman judge, Tanya Nathan C. Her journey from enrolling as an advocate to clearing the judgeship examination within months is nothing short of a testament to what determination and hard work can achieve. In a conversation with DD India, Kerala native Tanya Nathan C shares the realities of her preparation, the support systems that sustained her, and her vision.
We have with us a very special guest today from Kalyasheri in Kannur. Tanya Nathan is all set to create history in Indian judicial ecospace after she has cleared the judicial service examinations and is set to become Kerala's first visually impaired judge. Tanya, first of all, thank you so much for joining with us. Can you just tell us what were the major challenges you faced while you were preparing for your judicial service examinations?
If I talk about the challenges, the major challenge was relating to the accessibility, because when I was preparing, I had to depend on the digital materials. And these materials are just evolving actually. We could not get any abundant materials. So I was to satisfy myself with whatever was available with me in that time. So it was the major challenge, and it took a lot of time, in fact, and I have to cope up with that new change.
When did you actually decided that you would like to be a judge, that you would chase that dream of becoming a judge?
So I took the decision to become a judge only after I enrolled as an advocate, because till then it was like total uncertainty whether I would be able to become a judge or not. So when I started practicing as an advocate, in that time this verdict came by the Honorable Supreme Court. Right. So that opened a pathway, and I applied for the exam. So yes, now I'm here.
So what kind of support was provided to you during the examination process when this was happening? Could you please elaborate on that?
Yes, so for the examination, a scribe was appointed. Right. So they would read the question, and I had to dictate the answers. Apart from that, a separate room was allotted, because since I'm dictating the answers, other students should not get disturbed. So that kind of facilities was provided from the authorities. So it went really smooth during that time.
Okay, thank you so much for spending your time with Doordarshan.
Artificial intelligence is transforming every aspect of life, while its rapidly growing infrastructure demands massive energy, strains water resources, and drives up e-waste. The technology that promises solutions also brings new environmental challenges, making responsible and sustainable AI more essential than ever. A report.
Artificial intelligence is changing the world. But a big question arises. Is the development of AI coming at the cost of the earth? AI is growing rapidly, revolutionizing healthcare, agriculture, energy, and governance. But behind it lies the infrastructure, creating a massive demand for energy. This is the biggest paradox. AI can help reduce emission, yet the machines that run it consume huge amounts of electricity. On one side, a solution, and on the other, a new crisis. AI data centers are increasing electricity demand. cooling systems are putting pressure on water resources. A rapidly evolving graphics processing unit technology is driving up e-waste. At the AI Impact Summit 2026, held in India, experts from around the world made it clear. It's no longer enough to make promises. Measurable assessments of AI's climate impact are essential. The summit's mantra was people, planet, and progress, meaning development that is better for both humans and the environment. The concept of frugal AI emerged as a solution: smaller, smarter models that consume less energy but deliver better performance. The focus will be on zero-carbon data centers, AI's role in enhancing clean energy, and transparency in AI's environmental footprint. A major decision was made at the summit, the Global AI Environmental Index, which will standardize the assessment of water, carbon, and e-waste. The AI of the future must not only be powerful, but also responsible and sustainable. Because the true purpose of technology is to make the earth a better place.
What started as a simple pregnancy tracking app during the pandemic is now an AI-powered fertility revolution. Chennai entrepreneur Padmini Janki launched Mind and Mom in 2021 to support women through pregnancy. From a mobile app to advanced clinical care, here is how one woman's startup is reshaping the journey to motherhood.
The idea of Mind and Mom began in 2019 during a work trip to Nashville. During the trip, founder Padmini Janki noticed a lack of structured support for pregnant women. That observation sparked a simple yet powerful question: could technology guide women through their most vulnerable phases? That question led to the birth of Mind and Mom. Launched during the 2021 lockdown, it began as a community app helping women track pregnancy milestones and access reliable support.
It just started as a small community with a small app, and one fine day I realized it was still a very vitamin tablet. People are using it as only as part of the journey, and we wanted to be the entire journey.
By 2024, that vitamin tablet evolved into an essential healthcare ecosystem. Rebranding as LIVF, the startup moved from a good-to-have app to a tech-driven chain of fertility centers designed for millennials and Gen Z who demand transparency and science over traditional, often judgmental care.
In 2024, we become an AI-first, women-first chain of fertility centers entirely powered by AI and technology.
At the heart of LIVF is Cycle IQ, a proprietary AI engine that analyzes nearly 200 data points from hormonal markers to ultrasound scans. This tech eliminates guesswork, selecting the exact drug dosage and timing for treatment. The result is a staggering 18% increase in success rates and a massive leap in safety. While human grading of eggs can vary, AI provides a standardized, precise protocol that works whether a patient is in a metro city or a rural village.
What we have observed by using Cycle IQ in our clinic in the past year or so is about an 18% jump in the success rates for these patients, where we have been able to give a very personalized treatment with this clinical decision support engine that we have.
Despite the high-tech shift, the soul of the brand remains. The app still serves over 3 lakh women in English and Tamil, offering mental health and nutrition guidance. From a validation grant by the Tamil Nadu government to a multi-state AI chain, Padmini Janki is proving that when you combine a doctor's brain with AI precision, the dream of motherhood is closer than ever. Bureau Report, DD India.
India is stepping into a new era of technological self-reliance. At the India AI Impact Summit 2026 in New Delhi, homegrown innovations took center stage. From powerful large language models to breakthrough speech technology, Indian companies showcased world-class AI built on Indian soil. This marks the rise of sovereign AI, a bold move toward true digital independence.
Bangalore-based Sarvam AI was the most talked about model at the India AI Impact Summit 2026 held in New Delhi last week. The company launched two large language models, a 30 billion parameter and a 105 billion parameter model. Both models were developed entirely in India. The company claims that its large model challenges global systems like DeepSeek R1 and Gemini Flash on several parameters. These models are built on a mixture of expert architecture which enables high performance at low cost and low energy. This means the technology is advanced and also cost effective. Gyani.ai made the second major announcement. The company introduced a text-to-speech model called Vachna TTS, which can reproduce human voices in 12 languages from just 10-second audio clip. This technology, which works effectively even at low internet speeds, is designed for government services, call centers, and large enterprise systems. This means that even if someone cannot read or write, they can still access government schemes and digital services by speaking their mother tongue. This is true power of digital inclusion. Bharat Jan initiative led by IIT Bombay also introduced a multilingual foundation model called Param 27B, which is specifically adapted for Indian languages and aims to empower the use of AI in sectors such as governance, education, health, agriculture, and industry. Sovereign AI is a new chapter in India's digital sovereignty, a chapter where technology is not just a means of progress but foundation for a self-reliant future. Bureau Report, DD India.
And you're watching DD India News Hour. I am Siddharth Bharadwaj. Argentina and Uruguay's parliaments. All right, and we'll be right back after a short break.
स्वागत आहे टू मैग्नेटिक महाराष्ट्र. Share in the richness of Maharashtra as one family, united by the collective vision of building a better tomorrow.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I am Siddharth Bharadwaj. And India's statistical system is undergoing a major modernization drive to better reflect the realities of a fast-changing economy. With rapid expansion in services, greater formalization and digital transformation, the government has initiated key reforms to strengthen the quality, timelines and credibility of official data. Here's a look at the major changes. The base year for gross domestic product has been revised from 2011-12 to 2022-23 to capture structural shifts in the economy, including emerging sectors and changing consumption patterns. The new series incorporates improved data sources and methodological refinements. It will be released on 27th of February 2026. The Consumer Price Index will be updated with a new base year of 2024 using data from the Household Consumption Expenditure Survey 2023-24 to revise the item basket and weights. The revised CPI series will be released on 12th of February 2026. The Index of Industrial Production base year is being revised to 2022-23 to reflect technological changes and evolving industrial structure. Updated sectoral coverage and weights aim to improve accuracy. The new IIP series is scheduled for release on 28th of May 2026. Labour market and enterprise data systems have also been strengthened. Monthly labour indicators are now released under the periodic labour force survey, while quarterly bulletins on unincorporated enterprises provide more frequent insights. District level estimates and digital data collection platforms have further enhanced granularity and timeliness. In fact, timeliness. All right, and let's take you live across to Jaisalmer in Rajasthan. These are the visuals that we are showing you. Honorable President of India, Draupadi Murmu, is in Rajasthan. She is in Jaisalmer to witness Indian Air Force's exercise Vayu Shakti 2026. She has just completed the sortie in indigenous Light Combat Helicopter Prachand. Marks a moment of pride for the entire country. And this is at a time when the world is looking at Bharat for various deals, collaboration, and Bharat is not just an importer when it comes to the defense weapons. It is now an exporter as well. These are the visuals that we are showing you. These are the live visuals from Jaisalmer, Rajasthan, and my colleague Akshay Dongre is joining me on the phone line. Akshay, we are showing the live visuals of Honorable President of India, Draupadi Murmu, from Jaisalmer, Rajasthan. She has just completed the sortie. This indeed is a proud moment for the entire country, as the sortie was done in the indigenous Light Combat Helicopter Prachand. Akshay.
Well, absolutely, Siddharth. It's a thing of immense pride for the entire defense industry of the country. The Commander-in-Chief of the Indian Armed Forces are taking a sortie in a platform that has been indigenously developed entirely in the country. Light Combat Helicopter is the first combat helicopter that has been indigenously developed. It is one of the most potent combat helicopters, one of the most cost-effective ones, as well as most capable that are around the world. So LCH is not only a very capable platform, but it's a very, very efficient helicopter that has a lot of potential as far as future upgradations are concerned. So the Commander-in-Chief directly taking a sortie in the helicopter once again infuse the interest or confidence in the indigenous platforms for our armed forces. So it is going to be clearly a thing of pride, a thing of massive confidence in our armed forces that is moving rapidly toward indigenization drive. The event of Vayu Shakti is also quite an event of immense pride for our armed forces that is going to demonstrate the aerial prowess of the country on the western borders. That will include fighter jets of the Indian inventory, including Rafales, Sukhoi 30 MKIs, Jaguars, MiG-29Ks, and from the transport fleet, we will have C-130J, C-17, and several other transporters that will also be aided by a large fleet of helicopters, including Chetak, ALH, that is the Advanced Light Helicopter, Mi-17, LCH, Apache, Chinook, and besides that, there will be a range of drones and missile defense systems that will be carrying out from dusk to day and night missions as well. The Vayu Shakti 2026 also is extremely important because it highlights the success of Operation Sindoor Sudhar, reaffirming Indian Air Force's primacy in airspace dominance, long-range precision targeting, as well as multi-domain operative and its ability to deliver decisive effects with indigenous platforms. That is guided by the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. The core values of Achuk, Abhedya, and Satik are being demonstrated by the Indian Air Force in this exercise, and once again demonstrate to the country the men and women in uniforms who bravely defended the sovereignty and integrity of the country during tough times since the independence, and most recently in Operation Sindoor, where we gave a befitting reply to an adversary like Pakistan that has not learned lessons despite repeated defeats by this very Indian Air Force and aided by the other armed forces, including the Indian Army and the Indian Navy as well.
Oh, definitely. And for all those viewers who've just tuned in to DD India, these are the live visuals that we are showing you. These are the visuals from Jaisalmer in Rajasthan, where Honorable President of India, Draupadi Murmu, is to witness Indian Air Force's exercise Vayu Shakti 2026. Just a short while ago, the Honorable President also took a sortie, and that too in the indigenous Light Combat Helicopter Prachand. This is indeed a proud moment for the entire country. Indeed, Jai Hind and Jai Bharat. This is what the Honorable President of India said in her message. And we are still joined by our correspondent, Akshay Dongre. Akshay, what a proud moment we were just talking about. And we just told our viewers, we also played the message which President Draupadi Murmu recorded while doing the sortie, and she ended her message by saying Jai Hind and Jai Bharat. Tell us a bit more about Vayu Shakti 2026, Akshay, and how significant is this exercise?
Well, Vayu Shakti is an aerial exercise that takes place on an annual basis that demonstrates also the aerial prowess, the coordination among the armed forces, that demonstrate the aerial superiority that we maintain through our young air warriors, that are deployed across the country. During Vayu Shakti, the exercise displays coherence, they display coordination, they display their superiority in terms of firepower as well as synergy with other armed forces. And also full spectrum operation by fighter, transport and helicopter platforms are displayed in the Thar desert of Rajasthan. That also are immensely important because they are extremely close on the western side to land borders with Pakistan. In 1965 war, we have seen extensive battles taking place here along with other battles, including in 1971 as well. So the situation is extremely important because this is a full spectrum demonstration also of the way the Indian Air Force carried out Operation Sindoor. The Vayu Shakti 2026 is also highlighting the success of Operation Sindoor, reaffirming Indian Air Force's primacy and dominance and long-range precision as well, because it's not just the fighter aircraft, transport and helicopters that are taking place, that are in fact participating rather in this exercise, but also short-range loitering munition systems, Akash, air defense systems. There is Spider and counter and manned aerial defense systems as well that will be carrying out of sort of displays as far as this exercise is concerned. So, we saw that the battlefield was clearly divided between defensive and offensive during Operation Sindoor. So while fighter jets were bombing the terror infrastructure inside Pakistan, the retaliation was being demolished by the aerial defense systems. So all of this is going to be on display during this exercise.
All right, we leave it there. Thank you so much, Akshay. And defending champions India kept their T20 World Cup semi-final hopes alive and eliminated opponents Zimbabwe with a 72-run victory in Chennai. In a must-win situation after losing to South Africa in their Super 8 Group 1 opener, India rode on half-centuries by Abhishek Sharma and Hardik Pandya to post 256 for 4 after being sent into bat first. This is also the highest total at T20 World Cup by Team India. Not only this, Abhishek recorded a half-century and captain Surya Kumar Yadav also completed the 4,000 international runs mark. With this win, Team India now steps into another crucial encounter against the West Indies in Kolkata. With bowling still a concern for Team India, it remains to be seen how Team India plans to cope up with the departments which need strength and conditioning. That's all for this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.